welcome back to my channel. So today I have got a really fun video for you that I've never done, and I'm gonna be trash talking some fragrances. So take this with a grain of salt. These are just fragrances that get a lot of hype in the fragrance community, either here on YouTube or on Fragrantica or whatever, that I just personally don't like. So, you know, everyone is different, everybody likes different things. Please don't take any offense if these are some of your favorite fragrances. I'm sure I wear stuff that other people really don't like. This is just supposed to be a fun video. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed already, my name is Julia and I love to talk about perfume and fragrance on my channel. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So let's get started. These are 5 fragrances that are super popular that I do not like. By Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge. This fragrance honestly gets so much hype. It is always talked about on here. People say, oh, it's like the best fragrance, like in the niche. A lot of people recommend this in entry-level niche, like if you're just starting to get into niche perfumery or more luxury, you know, price points. They always recommend this. It's supposed to be unisex, like both for men and women, and I just do not get the hype about this fragrance. I have tried to smell this often. Whenever I go into like a department store and they have the MFKs, I always go and I smell it again and again, and I'm always thinking there must be something that I'm missing. Like, there's no way that people could talk about this fragrance so much and love this perfume so much, and I just smell the most generic, sweet scent. You know, for that price point, I think like I'm missing something. And I always go back and I smell it and I'm like, what am I missing? Because to me, it just smells really, really sweet. It smells synthetic to me, and I just do not get the hype. People say that it's one of those fragrances that smells different to different people. Some people say they get this like pencil shaving note, that they get this very woodsy note. I just get sort of marshmallowy or cotton candy type of sweetness that you can find in a lot of different fragrances that to me is in no way worth the price point. And I really think that MFK is really good at marketing, because I have smelled a lot of his perfumes and I'm just honestly not super blown away by any of them, because they are very expensive. And so for that price point, I'm expecting really something out of this world. I think MFK is one of those brands that people are drawn to who are not necessarily into fragrance, but who want to get into niche. And I think he's been very successful in doing that. He kind of, like, this brand kind of draws people into maybe smelling something that's a little bit more unique than designer range perfumes. But to me, it's not creative, like, enough. Like, I don't know, for that price point, I want really something phenomenal. And I think a lot of the fragrances are nice, but I just don't really think they're worth that price point, because they aren't, to me, unique or creative enough to warrant that. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. If you love MFK, like, go ahead. I think Baccarat Rouge it's become so trendy that it's become super generic as well. I mean, there are, first of all, millions of clones out there, so obviously people are really into it. Obviously it's super popular, but I think a lot of people just buy it because it's popular. Like, they're not even really into perfume, but a lot of people are like, oh, I'm trying to smell really bougie, so they go and buy MFK Baccarat Rouge, but they end up just smelling very generic. I don't get it. I really just don't get it with that fragrance. I've smelled it so often. I'm always like trying it again, and I think it's just very bland and nowhere near the hype it deserves. Kind of like the Kardashians. What are they really famous for? They're famous for being famous. And I think kind of the same with Baccarat Rouge. But that is my opinion. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. All right, so the next one on my list is by Lancôme, and it is La Vie est Belle. Oh my goodness, you guys. Ugh. Okay, so this fragrance, I actually used to own it. I had the original one, the original that came out, I think it's the Eau de Parfum. I wore it for a little bit and I ended up giving it away to a friend of mine. This smelled so nondescript, sweet, floral, fruity, patchouli-ish. I don't know, it just, to me, was such a nondescript scent, and I still feel that way. I think it is like one of the absolute best-selling fragrances out there, and I get it because it's kind of one of those fragrances that smells nice, but it doesn't really lean in any one direction. It's just one of those super generic, sweet, feminine, florally fragrances that I think, you know, it appeals to a lot of women. I think it is one that you can kind of wear to every occasion. Like I've smelled it on so many women and they smell nice. Like I'm not saying it stinks or something, like they smell nice, but to me it is just the ultimate generic, boring perfume out there. I just really don't like it. And I know they have a lot of flankers. I think there's one that is, I think is it the Eclat, or there's one that is not terrible. I think it has like an orange note in there as well. It's a little bit fresher, but yeah, it's so not anything that I would ever wear. Like I said, I gave my bottle away. Boring, generic, lazy perfumery that obviously has reached a ton of success. I mean, it's, like I said, one of the best selling fragrances of all time. So they will always continue making flankers of it because it's absolutely one of the biggest cash cows for Lancome. So the next one that gets a lot of hype here on YouTube, it's almost in every woman's like fragrance collection on here, is by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and it is La Belle. I have tried this numerous occasions. I've actually worn it like sprayed all over myself, and it has very good lasting power. So it's, from the performance perspective, is actually really good. Like it lasts, it smells very strong. People can smell it. So I think the quality of it is actually pretty good. It smells super bland to me. It's supposed to be like pear, vetiver, and vanilla, I think. And I think it smells very synthetic. The pear note is something that does interest me because I actually really enjoy pear, but it just, to me, in this one, smells super synthetic and cheap almost. It's just like super sweet, fruity vanilla, but has a very, again, generic and synthetic touch to it that I really don't like. I know people really love this. I think the bottle is absolutely beautiful. I think that's one of the major appeals of this, is also the bottle is beautiful with that sort of like golden necklace thing. Okay, so the next one on my list that I personally do not like is by Paco Rabanne, and it is Olympia. A lot of people really, really love this, and this is supposed to be a salty vanilla. Like some people describe this as an aquatic, and I don't really think that it is an aquatic. It has just a salt note to it, which I think that's why people are saying it's aquatic, and I can kind of see how maybe people think, oh yeah, it's an aquatic vanilla, but to me it's like, yeah, a salted vanilla. So the reason that I don't love this is, to me, this smells, again, very, very synthetic. I know that the vanilla in here is supposed to be sort of the main thing. Like people say that they really like this because it's a very strong vanilla fragrance, and I just cannot get over how synthetic this smells. And I have worn it, like I said, on numerous occasions. I've tried the flankers, I think I've tried the intense version as well, and I just think all of them smell super synthetic. And I think actually the perfumer behind it is Dominique Ropion, as far as I know, which is surprising because I usually like his fragrances actually. This is one that I definitely do not like. I just think it smells very fake. It smells like just cheap. I have nothing against synthetic fragrances. In some way, I honestly think synthetic fragrances are probably the most environmentally conscious because they're created in a laboratory. You're not actually going out and using any resources, like plundering from the earth, and they're much more sustainable. So I have nothing against synthetics, but I don't want them to smell synthetic. Like I want them to be created in a way that they actually smell like natural, even though they're not. And I know some people say, oh, that's not possible. I think it is. It just depends maybe on the quality. You know, I have a lot of perfumes that are made with synthetics, obviously, but they don't necessarily smell that way. The Olympia just, to me, smells really fake and very like cheap quality ingredients. So, okay, and the last one on my list is actually a men's fragrance, but I actually know some women who wear this. I actually think it's quite a unisex perfume, and that is Dior Homme. So I know they have re-released this, and I don't really know the difference between the re-released, like reworked version versus the old one. Some people say that the new one is like totally butchered, but a lot of men love this. This is in a lot of men's like all-time favorite fragrance of all time kind of lists and stuff. What I just really don't like about it, it has this, I think it's iris or something in here, lipsticky, powdery kind of note. Even though this is a men's fragrance, I definitely think it smells like an old lady's lipstick. So I get why women would wear this because I don't think it's super, super masculine. I don't think it's super feminine either. It's kind of like a very unisex fragrance. It has a sweet note to it. It to me reminds me of like an old lipstick. Kind of like a lipstick that's kind of gone off a little bit. You guys know that horrible scent that I'm talking about? Plasticky, Play-Doh-y, old lipstick vibe to it. And I don't know, maybe it wears differently on the skin, but I have tried it on a few different occasions. I always go back and smell it because I know a lot of men absolutely love this, but it's one that I just find slightly revolting, honestly. So maybe it's different, you know, if a man wears it, maybe I'll enjoy it more, but it's never one that I would ever purchase for my husband, or I would never want him to wear this because I just really don't like it. Like I said, please don't take offense if you like these fragrances. This is just me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. Let me know in the comments what are some of your disliked popular fragrances. I would love to know, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.